Okay, so I'm going to call the meeting to order. It's 5 after 5. Because right now we don't have a chair, I'm going to run the meeting till we do. So hopefully that'll be a second. So for roll call, you have everybody who's on here. Sheila's here with us too. So first things, our Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, on the agenda are just a review of our charges and goals. I won't read through them, but just, it's good to have them there as a reminder, unless you want me to read through them.
No, I think we're good.
I appreciate that. So we have our position of chair is open. Alder graciously stepped aside, stayed on the commission, thank goodness, because it's a commitment. So we need to a larger commitment than he has time for, I should say, because it is a lot of work, as Ron and Alder both know on the phone. I'm sure we're not taking it personally, though.
Definitely don't.
Dan has expressed interest in the position of chair. Karen, you're the only other person on here. Do you have an interest in being chair?
I think Dan would be great.
I'll second that.
Okay, so Karen, can we consider that a nomination?
Oh, sure. Yes, I would consider that a nomination. Yes.
And Alder, was that you seconding? Alder, was that you chime in, or was that you, Ron?
That was Ron.
Okay, perfect. And Ron seconds. Great. Okay, I'm sorry, Karen. I cut you off.
No, it's okay. I was going to just if you could just make it in the form of I can do it in the form of a nomination to nominate, I'm sorry, Ron's last name.
No, we're going to go with Dan.
Dan Van Horn.
Dan Van Horn as chair of the Commission on Disabilities for the town of Fairfield.
Thank you. And Ron second.
Terrific. And both Ron and I second and third that.
Excellent. All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? No, I didn't ask for discussion. Did anybody? Dan, did you want to say anything about how, you don't want to do this or you do want to do this?
No, quick. We should vote before I change my mind.
Excellent. That's what I was thinking too. All right. So that's a unanimous vote.
Excellent.
You're in charge.
All right.
It's all you.
Hey, everyone, I just want to take a moment. You should have received the agenda for our meeting, and I just want to review the top two things. I think that they're very helpful in orienting our purpose and why we're on. I know we all come from different life circumstances and situations and experiences. So I think one of the things that defines us so clearly is our desire to help our town and to advocate and be a voice for those who might otherwise be feel voiceless. And so this kind of charge and goal, as well as the goals of the commission, I think are important for us to keep in mind as we cover the business of our meeting. So I'd like to just read through it. The commission charge and goals are to ensure that Fairfield is a welcoming community where people with disabilities can lead inclusive and fulfilling lives, participating and contributing as active members of our town. The goals that the Commission on Disabilities have been set forth with are their purpose is to strive to create a forum for community members to increase awareness about issues and opportunities affecting people with disabilities, to advise town officials on policies, procedures, programs, and services, including the facilities of the town, to provide information and guidance to individuals, businesses, and organizations on matters related to disabilities, to foster and promote a community dialogue with businesses, community organizations, clubs, and associations, and to engage people with disabilities and their families, encouraging them to participate in town government and planning. And I just again, I encourage, I think those are very practical goals for us. They're very big goals if you start to unpack each and every one. But I would just encourage us to, I hope that we can kind of build some momentum around these goals where the town can start to recognize that there is a group of people who are voicing and advocating for a number of people within our community. And so if you can, try and keep those goals before you as we think about the different opportunities that our commission faces. So on our agenda, we've already done the election of chair. Do we need to talk about the vice chair?
We do. We can wait till we have more people, or we could see if anybody is interested. It's up to you.
Yeah, let's wait until we have a little more people on the call.
Perfect. Okay.
And so then the next thing you would have received is draft of the minutes from March. And so we have to make a motion to accept those minutes and then actually take a vote. So can anyone offer a motion to approve the March minutes?
It's Alder, and I read the minutes, and I put forward a motion to approve the minutes. Thought they were spot on.
Awesome. Okay. Anyone second that?
I will second.
Awesome. Thanks, Ron. That was Ron. And then any discussion? Did anyone have any points of discussion around the minutes? Thank you for drafting the minutes, by the way.
No,
okay.
I think we're good on my side.
Let's take a vote, and all in favor of approving the minutes? Aye?
Aye. Aye.
Okay, any opposed? Okay. Good. Great, guys. We already ticked off 2 things in our new business.
All right.
There was something I was thinking maybe we could bring up in new business because it's not quite old business, but it was the document Julie had sent me. You have it there. Would you mind sharing a little bit about the history of it?
Yes. So this document, and I can send it all to you via email, I'm part of a group of human and social services directors regionally and statewide. And we talk probably every other week, and somebody was brand new to the position and had not worked with a human services or any commissions before. And another one had just gotten a whole new slate of commissioners, and the question was put out about what does your commission do? Because the charge is there, but sometimes it can be seen as vague or hard to fill. So I'll just read through it if that's okay, Dan?
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. So one of the commissioners sent what she sends to her commissioners, and also helped us, it helped guide the discussion about what kinds of things are out there. This is Human Services Commission related, but it does apply to all commissions, I think, in terms of under social services. So I'm just going to read it, and then I'm going to email it to you later on. We recently repopulated the Commission for Senior Services and Human Services Commissions and assigned each member to a different area to monitor and report on at our monthly meetings. The areas, and this is for our Human Services Commission, include affordable housing, transportation, retirement planning, emergency management, social and recreational opportunities, mental health and substance abuse prevention, accessibility issues, and state advocacy. For me, this is the writer. The Commission's most significant role is to be the eyes and ears of their peers and to advise us on gaps in services and town happenings. They promote human services, or whatever department they're under, as a resource to residents and look for opportunities to spread the word about our programs and services. They bring new resources and ideas to the Commission to increase access and knowledge for the greater community. They have service to senior awards recognizing a senior citizen who gives back to the community, and that's a senior center specific one, but has potential for us to modify. Prioritize monthly meetings and come prepared. Follow town news and events and attend when it applies to our mission and report back to the Commission when appropriate. and make suggestions regarding the administration of services, but understand their advisory. So this is certainly not a Bible that we have to follow, but it's an interesting approach to, and I believe, Ron, when you were chair, right, when we started out, you had suggested that commissioners, if they have an interest in another commission or board and would like to attend and report back, that would be a valuable asset to the commission. So this is another way of saying that, I think. Certainly it's up for discussion, but I just wanted to make sure that I put it out there. I'm going to also discuss it with the Human Services Commission in a couple of weeks. But it's pretty succinct. Certainly the areas to include will be different because this is a Disabilities Commission, but all of those would be very important, plus others, building, things like that.
Yeah, thanks, Julie. And the thing that grabbed my eyes, and I say that because if you're like me, this will make more sense when you have a chance to look at the document itself for yourself. But I felt like it helps us, like if someone were to say, oh, you're on the Commission for Disabilities in Fairfield, what do you do? That might be a hard question to answer, but some of the language in this document, I think it just helps kind of give us language around when we're talking with other members in our community, or if you talk with someone who either has a loved one with a disability or they themselves have a disability, it kind of gives you language around what role you might play both on this commission but also in our town. Like I love that we could think of ourselves as promoting, the activities or the resources of the Commission for Disabilities, and so promoting was one of the words that stuck out to me. One of the bullet points is bring new ideas and new resources and ideas. Hopefully we all kind of have our ears to the ground and are paying attention to what's going on in our community. But when we have our meetings, it's a good opportunity for us to talk about ideas, not to necessarily feel like all of our ideas are going to move forward, but that it's a group where we can discuss ideas and kind of make decisions together if we have the capacity to kind of take hold of that idea and try and build on it. But the fact that we can bring ideas and resources to this commission, I think, is important because it needs the group of us together to make some change and build momentum on this commission. I know it says in there prioritizing monthly meetings and coming prepared. I'll admit it and I'll confess. Sometimes it is. Like I find myself picking up the notes and things like that closer to the time of the meeting. I think that's somewhat normal when we all have different places and different worlds we're living in and responsibilities and families and all that. But just that we know that we want to at least take some time to look at the notes prior to the meeting because it helps us all be better. Like I'm better when you all come prepared. Hopefully you'd say the same if I come prepared, that you're better on this commission as well. So, and then paying attention to what's happening in the town. I think that there are some wonderful people in our town that just, if we were to show them grace, they just don't realize, they're not able to see life from everyone's perspective. And we have the opportunity to look at life from the perspective of those who have a disability or have loved ones with a disability. And so when things happen in town, we're kind of that sounding board that is able to look at these circumstances and situations and events and programs from the perspective of those with disabilities. And so, I love that bullet point in this document that just encouraged the commissioners to follow town news and events because they're gonna be able to follow the news and events with a lens toward their particular commission. So, and lastly, I'd just say, as you look at this document, I think you'll find that these bullet points do encourage us to, they're practical ways that help us pursue the goals that we review at the beginning of each of our meetings. So, I think it'll be helpful to help us understand our role in the commission. So, All right, so that's the end of our new business part of our agenda. I'm sure, again, when Julie sends this to you, you might have more questions, and we can maybe talk about it more at the next meeting to see if anything jumps out at you, pops, something that you think, hey, maybe we should kind of articulate this as being something important to our commission. But that will be in our old business at our next meeting. In our old business section of this meeting, we have 4 areas of business to discuss. We have the Sacred Heart project, which we can give an update to. Adrian was not able to be on the call tonight, but she has worked diligently with the students and really gotten this project to a place that it's ready to go out, and we'll talk about that in a few minutes. There's the ADA anniversary event, which Julie, can you update us on that?
We haven't done anything for that.
Okay, all right, good.
So let's take that off the list.
Yeah.
We're not going to have time to get that to go.
Okay, so that I'm glad you said it, because there's a number of good things that we can be doing. I know the community resource guide is on here, and we have it in place. I think our focus on the community resource guide was we want to update it, and I do think that's a good project idea. I'd like to encourage us to get the survey and the Sacred Heart project done and done well before we start to tackle the community resource guide, because I think with the survey results will give us better eyes toward the resource guide as well, and also it allows us to kind of devote all of our energy toward this one project, which will be helpful for moving forward. So all that to say, I want to circle back to the Sacred Heart project, and can I read Adrian's update that she shared in the email? Is that okay? Okay. So I'm going to read just a quick update from Adrian on the survey. She said, for everyone's knowledge, the survey is complete and is ready to be sent from a Gmail address specifically set up for the commission. The key next steps are for the commission to sign off on it, and also to determine the distribution groups to get this out to as many Fairfield residents as possible. We had previously discussed the Fairfield Public School parents via Rachel Chapa, SEPTA families. This may overlap with the above, since children will be enrolled in Fairfield Public Schools, and the senior center distribution list. What I was hoping we could do in today's meeting was really just revisit the list of groups we'd like to ask the survey to go out to, if groups would be willing to do that on our behalf. And then by the end of our meeting, maybe assign out a commissioner would take the responsibility of reaching out to one of these organizations to request on our behalf if they'd be willing to send out the survey to their recipients. So let me just reiterate the 3 groups that we've already kind of identified, and then I'd like to open up to discussion to see if anyone has other ideas that we could add to that list. So again, there's Fairfield Public School parents via Rachel Chapa, SEPTA families, which is the Special Education PTA Board, for those who don't know, and then the Senior Center distribution list. I would say, I know Adrian wasn't sure if we should do both the SEPTA families and Fairfield Public Schools. I would say send them, well, I think we could be able to send them both. That way we cover more ground, or it's reiterated, but I think her point may have been, would it be double dipping the survey results? I think it would. I think
they both groups, like regular PTA and SEPTA, get the same email.
Oh, okay. All right. I see.
They're all in the same school system.
Okay. All right. So we have those 3 on the list. Would you guys have any other ideas of organizations within town that we could approach to ask them to include the survey to the town or to their recipients?
What about the Chamber of Commerce?
Yeah, that's a good one. And are you thinking? Sorry, go ahead.
I was going to say there's an aspect, obviously, of our charge, which is to reach out and partner with businesses if possible. And I can't remember, honestly, I read the survey a couple weeks ago, but whether or not there are any questions on there that include that aspect of it. I can't remember, but it might be interesting to send that along to them anyway, just to find out what, if any, feedback that they would have that would be pertinent for us moving forward.
Yeah, no, that is helpful. You bring up a good point too. The survey is specifically directed toward individuals with disabilities or families of loved ones with disabilities. So it's almost like we're going to them and saying, as you live in and among Fairfield, what is your experience? What are the things you face? What are the needs you have? Where are you aware of the needs of Fairfield? So I think in going to the Chamber of Commerce, it would be beneficial if the Chamber of Commerce has individuals, like members who are individuals with disabilities or have loved ones with disabilities. I don't know that the survey would kind of address that question of, it's not so much directed towards the businesses. Are you providing services for or accessible to individuals with disabilities? Does that make sense?
Yep, that's right. I'm sorry, I forgot. Yes.
I have a couple ideas. May I?
Yes, please.
So we could request that it go out in the town-wide update.
Yeah.
That for the first select woman. We maintain the tricky part is a lot of this communication needs to come out of my office rather than individuals approaching different groups.
Okay.
So once we have a clear message and like a press release or something, we can work on that together.
Okay.
I can send it out to the first select woman, to the Bigelow list, to the schools, also neighborhood associations and houses of worship. I know you get a lot of my emails there.
Yeah. Love them, by the way.
Yeah, I'm sure you do. It's tricky because right now, and you'll hear this in the department update, we're doing this age-friendly Fairfield program, and we have a survey that we're highlighting in the First Select Woman's update through June 15th.
Okay.
So, we've got to be tricky. It's a little tricky to have multiple surveys, although this is important, so I feel like it's just got to be crisp. We need a good press release and good messaging for her to put in there. I'm not saying let's not do it. I'm saying let's make sure we have have a great explanation of it going in and why it's important to this commission. You know what I mean? Not that we would put it in halfway or not without effort, but it's got to be very separate and it's got to be not under the same neighborhood in that update.
Yeah. So clear, distinct, and concise.
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly.
All right. Good.
What about posting it up online to say something like Moms of Fairfield with a link to the survey?
That's a great idea, and that's where one of you are going to be really helpful because I am not on Facebook or social media. I can tweet the living daylights out of anything, but I am not on social media.
I'm not
so
a mom, so I'm not on it.
Yeah, or next door Fairfield. Those are the kind of places that we could post to. I am not on Facebook.
So I'm on Facebook a little bit. I'm not on Moms of Fairfield, but there's a mom in my life who's on the Moms of Fairfield, so I might be able to have her post something on my behalf. Does that seem reasonable, or
it does
sound questionable for us as a commission?
You could that's okay. It could be in a way that if we have the write up or a press release goes out and it gets picked up by Patch or Hamlet Hub, then Tara could do did everybody see this?
Yeah.
And just have the link to that article or that blurb in the First Select Woman's update.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. All right.
Great idea, though, Walter. For all those young people out there.
All right.
Yeah, I think I'm older than you are, but yes.
I just don't.
It is. It's certainly something to consider. That modes of communication or the way the communication goes out is certainly through channels like social media. That's a significant venue, but
You know, I'll put a link on our page to it. You know, we can try to direct people to that so they can go and see that there is a page and then see commission information. I don't know if any of you have been on our page yet, but when I send this information to you, I'll make sure I include the link.
Great.
okay.
That's a pretty big list right there. If we're able to get the SEPTA and then the others and then the moms, that should pretty much, you know, be a wide blanket.
Yeah. And I think, I don't know this for sure, but I'm pretty sure that even if someone was to receive an invitation to the survey through 3 different channels, I think the survey would be, they could only answer it once with one email address, I think, if I understand correctly. So, you know, it's not a bad idea for us to hit these different areas that, like, multiple people might be on multiple lists, and I think that's okay.
Yeah, I do too. Remember Shannon had said that she has the contact for PTA and SEPTA?
Yeah.
Would you mind?
Yeah.
I don't know what to do, Sir Chair, but
go ahead.
Shannon might be the contact for that.
Yeah.
To just ask once the whatever write-up is done, if she could send it to school. I know that goes out on Fridays.
Okay. Yeah. So we have this list, but if I understand correctly, we should probably make our number 1 priority that press release.
Yeah.
And I've not personally written a press release before, but like, how is there a resource we have that could help us do that, or?
I know how to do that.
Okay, good.
Yeah, I can do that. Yeah, we can work on that together.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
All right.
Perfect.
All right. So, you know, we're starting to get into this. We're starting to get into this kind of 4th bullet point under old business, and that's okay. But when we talk about delegation of action items from the meeting, what we'd like to do is kind of divvy out some tasks around getting the word out about this survey. So task 1, Julie and I will work on the press release for this, and once we have that, we should have some language for you for each commissioner to go to someone like SEPTA and request that they send out this survey, and we can give them the resource of the press release and the link for the survey itself.
Can I jump in a little late on this?
No, please do. Yeah, go ahead.
So I was just going through my SEPTA emails to try to find, and I know exactly who the president is. I just can't come up with her name right now. And in my emails, believe it or not, we just missed on May 7th a SEPTA provider and resource fair where they had 30-plus providers of services and resources across Fairfield for the needs of preschool and transitioning to adulthood students. I'm wondering if that type of mailing list or mailing to the professional service providers could get us get us responses to the survey that aren't a complaint board, right? But more of an insight of what isn't there right now in terms of services. So maybe, if I were to take the to-do list to get in touch with Michelle Theriault, the Executive Director of Special Ed, and get a press release to her and to the president of SEPTA, and I know her daughter's name is Sophie, but I don't know the mother's name. I'd be happy to do that.
That would be wonderful.
That's great. So Ron is going to do the whole SEPTA and the organizations that are. Do you have the list of agencies and organizations and programs that you send it out to?
I will get them, and her name is Christy Vitale. Fairfield.
That was going to drive you crazy otherwise. Yeah. Okay, that's great.
Fairfield SEPTA President at gmail.com. So I'll get in touch with Christy.
Okay, so once we have that blurb done, then Ron, you're good sending that out to them. That's perfect.
Yep.
We'll take it off that.
Okay.
One less bossy task. That's great. Thanks, Ron.
Thank you, Ron. Okay.
It's a bummer we missed that.
I know.
Ron, see how needed you are?
I haven't felt needed in such a long time.
Oh, I hope we don't scare you. Okay.
I can, I'll, the Moms of Fairfield page, I'll tack onto Tara's Facebook profile, whatever it is, and post it on there once we have the press release as well.
Okay. And I can do the townwide updates, the houses of worship, unless you want to go through your group.
I do have a few, a couple clergy association groups I can send it to as well.
Why don't you do that and I'll stay out of it?
Okay.
They're probably more updated.
Yeah.
That's great. I mean, I'll still email the group periodically, but this is important.
Yeah. It helps, like you said, keep things distinct a little bit from the, what do we call it? Aging Fairfield?
Yeah, age-friendly, yeah.
Age-friendly.
I think that's better, okay.
Not aging, age-friendly.
Right. All right, so I've got the Bigelow List Town update, your houses of worship, Ron is SEPTA, neighborhood associations. I'll send it to, we don't get a lot of traction with that group, but I have a good list of those. And somebody could do Chamber of Commerce.
Yeah. Yeah, so, Alder, did you want to reach out, once we have this press release, did you want to reach out to the Chamber of Commerce? And
yeah, I'm happy to do that. I'm happy to do that, to give whoever the president is a call, and then, let them know what it is that we're doing and see if they would be amenable to us emailing to their constituents or their members.
Okay.
Great.
That'd be excellent.
Done.
Who are we missing?
The only other suggestion that Adrian had was the Fairfield Public Schools with via Rachel Chapa.
Right, that's that PTA
Is
class.
And that's the same, that would go out the same as SEPTA?
It would include, Ron, do you get the PTA council or the PTA emails every week?
I only get SEPTA.
Yeah, I was going to say, I think they're separate.
Yeah, okay, so let's do that separate.
Okay.
And maybe Shannon can do that.
Okay, yeah.
Because she suggested that, so we'll assign Shannon.
Yeah, because the Fairfield Public Schools would be a little bit wider than the PTA distribution.
Okay.
All right, so for each of those, just, I guess, hold tight until you receive the press release information from Julie or myself. And at that point, we'll be prepared, we'll basically just disperse it. We'll get it out there. In the meantime, Adrian is working with the next group of students, or she's preparing to work with the next group of students at Sacred Heart, who will help us as the information comes in, and I think maybe even help us get the word out there where we could use their help. So I think Adrian may be available at our next meeting to kind of give us that update herself.
That's great. As you were talking, I was remembering Patty is PTA president of Ward High School. Maybe she would also help get that in the PTA packet, or rather than Shannon, either one.
Okay. What do you mean, PTA packet or the Fairfield Public Schools?
Public schools.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah,
right.
I'm sorry. Yep.
I forgive you.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right. Great. That's excellent. I feel like we've got a good plan for making some progress on this survey, and I think it's good because the survey, they definitely the students definitely dialed it up in terms of the questions that they're asked. Not that the questions were insufficient last time; they just added some really good ones into it. And now I think too the feedback we had last time we all reviewed the survey was it was good, but we didn't feel like it had a good kind of representation of our community. And so this sounds like we should, if we get responses, we should get a better understanding of what the needs are across the town. So, okay, I think that's good for old business. How about any department updates for us?
Yes, in fact. It's all about age-friendly Fairfield. It's a 3 to 5 year program that we're working on. It's out of this department with Fairfield Senior Advocates, and we are looking for advisory board members who will help guide it. It's not a lifetime commitment, but it is, taking a look at the survey results that we're doing with Fairfield U and picking out areas and coming up with an action plan about the ways we can improve Fairfield so that everybody who lives here is able to age here, housing and transportation, community resources, that kind of thing. When I send you the roles and responsibilities piece of paper and the link to the commission page, I'm going to send you the link to the age-friendly survey. If you would, I would love you to take it and share it with all your friends if you're willing. It addresses a lot of issues, not just about seniors, not just old, people who are aging in Fairfield, but about a lot of the issues about disabilities and whether or not we have good programs. It's important. So any help you can give, anywhere you can share that, I would greatly appreciate it.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Great.
I do one more thing that's not really department update, but I just wanted to bring up. As we, once we're done with the survey and start working on that and get to the resource guide, I think something that would be really helpful, and Karen, I'm going to call you out on this one because you have some recent experience and could probably help focus us on this. Something that would be really helpful would be like if you see something in town that is not ADA compliant or ADA friendly, what steps do you take to try to remedy that? Because we're not the commission that does that. It's, Tom Bremer's office. But Karen, that would be something as we go forward with that directory, something to help write up that process, because you just went through that with that sidewalk, right?
Right, exactly.
Would you mind talking about that a little bit, like what happened and how it went?
Sure. Well, I've lived in the neighborhood for like over 10 years, and our sidewalks are all going to be replaced, which is good because there's some real issues with the curb cuts. The curb cuts come up and there's no flat 5-foot land to rest on, to be on. Consequently, if you're using a chair, you'll just go right back down the curb cut. I've been using a rollator and I can't negotiate those corners. But clearly, there are quite a number of them right around here, but I can imagine them being throughout the town. So that's something that, I brought up initially with Julie, and then with Mr. Bremer, and I guess he forwarded it to some people, the engineer, Julie, I'm not sure who
Bill
forwarded it.
Yep.
Right. Because my question was, who approves various new construction or projects that the town does or that's done by private concern? Who approves those packages to make sure they're ADA compliant? Because that's something that the town is responsible for. So we got into talking a little bit about that, but that's something that needs to be addressed, I think, in its totality, because I'm not sure everything that's gone up recently in terms of buildings and in terms of curb cuts have been correct.
Right. So at some point we would love probably to have somebody come in from buildings, but in terms of the process for reporting it, how
Right. I went to Tom first.
Yep.
And I think he passed it along from what I understood. I wasn't positive. But we need to have a process to do that and to alert people in the community how to do that as well.
Yeah, okay, all right, that's
that
great,
make-
thank you.
Does that make sense? Yeah,
It
okay.
makes absolute sense, thank you.
So Karen, can I ask a question? When you had this experience with the curb, did you email Tom, or how did you raise awareness around the issue?
Well, first of all, I brought it up with Julie, and then I contacted, and Julie was on the list when we contacted Tom, and I think, I didn't pass it along to other people, but I think he must have, because I sent pictures along as well to illustrate how the curb cut was far from being accessible and usable. It was not usable.
Okay.
So I think we need to set up or know a process and make that available to the community.
Yeah, I agree. That would be something great on our page or on the compliance page. But Karen's right. Like, as a commissioner, she could find that information, but a typical person in town is not going to know that. And also, the communication back would have been important
Yeah.
here. So you let him know then what happened.
Right.
Absolutely, exactly, Julie. Yes.
I mean, even if we weren't ready to post it on the commission's website or page, does it make sense for us to kind of talk about if someone in the community raised that issue with you, like either what language or what steps would we tell them to take? Like, if maybe at our next meeting we kind of put under new business a discussion around like what
Process.
Yeah, process, like how we might tell someone to report.
Right.
And we don't necessarily have to report it ourselves as much as give them information how they can report it, correct?
Right. We shouldn't be reporting that.
Got
If somebody has a complaint.
Correct.
Right.
Right.
Okay, all right.
But it's
Yeah,
a great.
Yeah.
So go ahead.
I'm saying it just happened to have happened to me, so that's why I wasn't the only reason why I was involved.
Right.
But it needs to come from the community, people in the community.
Exactly.
Yeah, Karen, I think that's a good example of what we were talking about before, of just being the eyes and ears for people in the community. That not everyone would necessarily realize that was a concern, and not because they don't care about the other members of their community. They're not used to seeing that the life through another person's lenses like that. And so, that's a great opportunity to kind of think how we can better advocate for it. Even making clear the instructions on how to report ADA compliant concerns.
Right.
Great. Yes.
All right. Sorry to put you on the
Thank
spot, Karen. I think that was just really helpful for us.
No, I appreciate it, because I think it's an issue that we need to inform the public of, and we need to be aware of it as well to follow some guidelines once we put that forward.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Yep.
Is that it for department updates?
It is.
Okay. All right. Any other business that we needed to bring up for tonight's meeting?
Naturally, I have two things.
Okay.
They're actually both potential speakers that I wanted to run by.
Yeah.
Sheila works for the fire department and mentioned that perhaps we could invite the fire marshal's office to come and talk to us about, what happens if there's a call to, what an inspection looks like, what happens if there's a call to a home where there's somebody with a disability, all sorts of things.
Okay.
I think that would be helpful. And another was, there is an attorney, an ADA attorney who lives in Fairfield. Naturally, I forget. I think it's Paul or Peter Gallucci, I was on a call with, who would also be a wonderful speaker. He's deaf. He lives in town, and he.
Mark Gallucci.
Mark Gallucci. That's right. That's it.
And he runs the Independent Living Center out of West Haven, or he used to. I don't know what he's doing now.
He don't you think he would be a good speaker?
Oh, sure.
Absolutely.
Yeah, Mark.
Yeah. Okay. Great. And then we can invite them and see when that works.
Okay, that'd be great. Excellent.
Mark Gallucci, not Peter. And, okay.
Although Peter sounds like a great guy too.
Sure, I'm sure. Sure. Thanks, Ian.
All right. Any other?
This is an ADA lawyer?
He is.
Interesting, okay.
Yeah, that could be very helpful.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, absolutely.
Good. Any other business for us tonight?
Not here.
All right. So let me just review before we. Oh wait. Can we review something before we go to public comment? Can we review one more time the kind of the tasks? Is that okay?
Sure.
Okay. All right. So just to review for us, Ron, you're going to reach out to SEPTA, the president of SEPTA, and kind of get us maybe some information on those resources you mentioned, as well as maybe connect to see if we can send them the survey to their recipients.
Yep.
I think we're going to reach out to Shannon about the Fairfield Public Schools. I will talk to my wife about posting on her Facebook page for the Fairfield, or Moms of Fairfield. I'll reach out to the Fairfield Clergy Association. We will, this will be after Julie and I have worked on the press release for the survey. And then Julie, you're going to be sending us the age-friendly survey, as well as giving us a link to the commission page and the wording for the commission doc. And am I missing anything else? Does anything else that we discussed come up to mind for anyone?
Just that I will reach out to the Chamber of Commerce.
Thank you, Alder. I'm sorry. Yes. Thank you for doing that too.
Perfect.
Sure.
Excellent. And then Julie, of course, following up about the speaker schedules to see
Yep.
if they're available to come and speak to us.
You got it.
Excellent. All right. Now we go to.
If I could. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm just going to ask.
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
If we could expand upon the access issue, so that we know how, in fact, something gets approved. We're just kind of aware of the process of how something gets approved by the town for it to be built or renovated, and how much renovation if renovation is done, what percentage of the renovation needs, and how much is made accessible. I just, all that, but we need to kind of know the process in the town as to who does that.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, building inspector.
Let
me try to figure out who to get to come in and talk to us about that, because I know it's not like a building official, but it's probably, Sheila had said maybe an inspector or somebody in planning. I don't know. Karen, I don't know who it is, but I can certainly find out.
Yeah, and that would be great for you to have awareness of, and certainly Tom could come to that too. Tom
Yep.
Brenner, if you want to.
So, like long-term, Karen, that could be something to keep in mind. The process would probably be, having the speaker come in and kind of talk to us a little bit about that, and then us thinking about how we might inform town officials like Tom. That's one of our responsibilities is advising town officials. So if we learn this information through meeting with someone like that from the building department, we would advise Tom with that information. So the best we can do is pass it along to him. But the other piece we could do is maybe there's a discussion we can have around what part of that information we might want to put up on our website, so that if any member from our town goes to the website, they would know what steps they need to take.
Great idea.
Yeah, that's right.
And that we know the process.
Exactly.
Right.
Your sidewalk experience highlighted that for me, that we had to make sure we started looking at that. And I also just want to remind you that going back, way back when we started, all of the commissions in town, like the planning and zoning and the building and DPW, and police and fire and Parks and Rec, all have commissions that I'm not sure we're going to get department heads to attend every one of our meetings, but we can certainly go to their meetings. So and those meetings are scheduled and put on the town website.
Yeah, which, you're right, that rather than having speakers come in, maybe we determine a group that we want to see if we can go attend their meeting to draw out this information and.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, and the building one might be specific to us and may not come up at every one of their meetings, but,
Okay.
I'll find out.
Okay, all right, thank you.
Right, great. Thanks, Julie.
Sure.
Okay, now we can come to the public comment part of our meeting. Is there anyone from the public who would like to comment at this time? Okay. All right. Well, that looks like that's the end of our agenda. We have our next meeting scheduled for July 11th.
Great.
So mark that in our calendars. July 11th is our next meeting, which is a Tuesday evening.
Yes.
All right.
All right.
Thank you, everyone.
So you'll need-
Well done, Dan.
Oh,
Yep.
thank you. Yeah. Can I?
Great job.
Thank
I'll have
you.
a motion to adjourn.
Thank you. Thank you. Anyone want to
So
second that? All right. All in
Great.
favor? Aye.
Bye.
All
Boom.
Nobody better oppose.
right.
Yeah. All right, thanks, everybody.